Do people say that
No,
in America?
we usually say cheers actually in America.
Just cheers? Interesting.
Yeah, just cheers. Yeah, no, Americans don't really have a word, unfortunately.
That's confusing because in the UK, I would just imagine that could be like thank you, It's the equivalent.
Oh
of,
yeah.
that's
No,
how I
you're
see it.
right. You're right. Yeah, what? Because in Scotland it's Slàinte, right?
No, in Gaelic is
Gaelic,
Slàinte.
yes.
Yes.
But that's what they speak in Scotland, right?
Well, 2% of Scotland.
Okay, fair enough.
Yeah.
But culturally, fair enough.
Now the Terrorblade pick. I actually want to talk about the draft of Motivate that's running. I love the Bloodseeker pick, of course I do. Especially against the Timbersaw though.
And it is an offlane.
It is an offlane this case for sure. It's really good against Timbersaw and Mirana. And Bloodseeker excels as an offlane pick when you see that the enemy team has relatively weak lane supports. And both Mirana and Aerospirit are they're okay. They're better as roamers than like static lane supports, which Bloodseeker just takes advantage of course.
Pardon me. Is this a Mirana 5?
I want to say it might be. Yeah.
Okay,
Which I don't love.
I think it's a little okay though, because I think Mirana 5.
She does offer a fair amount of physical.
Yeah, and she just needs the Yules, right? Especially this game.
No, yeah, Mirana 5 is okay, but the Bloodseeker still runs you down in lane. Mirana cannot trade with you.
There's problems. There's problems there for sure.
But the Spectre's a really good pickup. I actually really love how this draft is going because you can see the teams are literally responding to each other, right? You see the Timbersaw pick, immediately Bloodseeker, and you respond to the Spectre, who is probably one of the best heroes against Bloodseeker, both in lane and otherwise. And then they respond with the Terrorblade, which is one of the best heroes against Spectre, right? Spectre can, against Terrorblade, beat him by destroying the supports around him and then going for him. But even then, it's kind of difficult because once you fight one-on-one against Terrorblade, Spectre cannot. Like, she doesn't do anything against him. Her dispersion does not do enough damage for Terrorblade not to chunk her down. It's ridiculous.
No, I mean, everything you said is 100% factually correct, but I'm not going to lie. I got distracted because I was thinking about, wow, we really don't say anything when we drink. And I think it to your health is the biggest thing because, you know, the big reason why you clink drinks, right? You know the trivia, why you clink drinks.
Yeah.
You're supposed to do it extra hard in case you know, if you're sealing a treaty back in the 1300s or something, and you always do it with some ale or some wine.
In case they had poison in them.
In case it was poison, so you always had to make sure to basically get a lot of your drink in their drink. With Monster, of course, that's no concern, as every single can is
designed beautifully.
Is ready to drink, and also the cans look beautiful.
Yeah, they do. That's why we have them on stream.
Yeah, and also looking beautiful though. To me, is more this Motivate.Trust draft. I like this one
like
a lot better.
Yeah.
Earth Spirit 5, Mirana 4. This feels
Wait
like
till their last pick though, because last time they messed up with the last pick as well. So you know.
Okay. I'll reserve my judgment for
I like
another
I like
40
the
seconds.
Invoker a lot actually. It's a really good ban by Neon because Invoker's fantastic against Timbersaw, Mirana, Earth Spirit. I don't actually mind the Death Prophet this game for Motivate because it's really good against Earth Spirit trying to gank you. Can stop Timbersaw. You don't have much burst damage on Neon, and the Exorcism is great against Spectre. Then go for Storm. Okay, I think this might be a bit too greedy, if I'm honest with you. Storm Terrorblade, not my favorite combo. You do have a very ungreedy offlane in Bloodseeker. This is one of the advantages, actually, of having Bloodseeker, and why I love him so much as an offlaner. Bloodseeker is, hands down, I'm telling you, the best dead laner in the game currently, right now, as an offlaner. Because your Blood Rage has a ridiculous range, and with Blood Rage and Veil Discord, you completely clear a creep wave at level 15 when you get the Blood Rage talent, right? So you are capable of completely clearing creep waves from really far away, which means Bloodseeker can get much harder farm that nobody else is able to access. And this gives you a huge advantage, because then your Spectre and Storm can go for your Terrorblade and Storm can go for much safer farm.
Yeah, something I always like about Neon's drafting style is that unless the draft is going really poorly for them, they always give themselves plenty of time for their last pick.
That's true.
Sometimes they end the draft with, you know, over 2 minutes of reserve time, and that's okay. But usually they're going to run down their clock. Because if you've ever even played even a Battle Cup with your mates and you're in the captain's seat and the comms are going everywhere, it can be quite stressful, especially for a last pick. If you're like, oh no, the Storm Spirit, that completely destroys the Mirana. It's pretty darn good against the Timbersaw.
It's a tough one, actually.
To be in the comms right now, to have at least 2 minutes to think about it, to get, you know, have 20 seconds of panic, and then start thinking about solutions.
Yeah, Neon can punish it. The difficulty is Storm is a difficult hero to punish in the mid lane because his laning stage is okay, maybe even bad sometimes, depending on the hero, but then he recovers jungle all the time. So even if you beat him early, it doesn't really matter as much. I still think Neon should want to go for something fast tempo, particularly something that can push early. You know, something that has the ability to put pressure, so Terrorblade can now free farm with Storm as well, and you can go ganking squad with Timbersaw. I would even dare say something along the lines of like a DK or DP, which are the consistent mid laners.
Oh, okay. So
but
DP now?
But I don't love him against the tiny Snapfire Bloodseeker, though. So that's why I'm saying, like, this is the idea I'm going for, but I don't love him too much either as picks. I don't know. I think Neon is a tough pick here to make because you want a bit of team fight, you want a bit of ganking power, and a bit of pushing power, all in one, and someone that can deal decently with Storm.
Okay.
That might be a Timbersaw mid then.
It could be a Timbersaw mid.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, it looks
Okay.
like it.
I like this choice.
No,
Oh, no, it's Earth Spirit mid. Oh, Timbersaw to the 4 position, or 5 position then. Okay, we did speak about this actually. A Timbersaw 5 as a hero that's kind of been played both in the competitive scene and somewhat in, or particularly more in immortal level pubs. Some people have been trying out this hero. It's very similar to when you play Puck 5 or when you play like Lina 5, where you just bring a lot of damage to the table in the laning phase and later, well, really just damage. He lacks the team fight, right? But he does bring a ridiculous amount of damage early, and he's really good at harassing. So it's kind of okay in that sense. You're really good in the early mid game. Your tempo is very similar to Undying, and your playstyle is similar to Puck, except for the Dream Coil part, of course. And this means Earth Spirit mid, which is actually a hero that can beat Storm Spirit. You have a really huge power peak in this mid game when you can get a lot of kills for the Spectre. Earth Spirit mid and Sanking Offlane pretty much peak at the same time. So you have a really good tempo lineup here for Neon. I mean, again, this game is very similar to the last one. Neon proposes firsts. They can really run over with this draft. They can have a ridiculously fast draft and just run you down. They're lacking a bit of pushing power, the only concern I have for them. But besides that, they have really good ganking potential. In the case of Motivate.Trust, unfortunately, they do have a really, really good late game. So if this goes late, it's pretty guaranteed for them. But can they bring it there? We'll see.
We shall see indeed as we're going to get underway with game number 2. Neon Esports up 1-0. Wasn't even a close game. Very, very cleanly played by Neon, but we'll see what Motivate.Trust can bring. I think on paper, if you just look at previous results, probably the favorites going into this tournament, as they've been a pretty consistent team. No big roster changes, no shuffles, no imposters, you know. So they've been pretty consistent as a team, but here perhaps a little bit of inconsistency at the hands of Neon Esports. Game number 2 here is, of course, we have our SCA pause. So if you have a 0-second pause on your bingo sheet, go ahead and check that one off.
Yeah, I mean, this always has to happen, of course, the traditional pause.
Yeah,
both teams are bowing.
Yeah, I guess they would be, right?
Either that's what they're doing. What do you think? They're standing up right now. There's nobody disconnected. Clearly,
there is nobody disconnected. Yeah, that's just waiting for the ping to settle in.
Yeah. Anyway, in this game, I think some people in the chat actually pointed really correctly now, because I'm seeing 5 minutes in the past that the Timbersaw has a really rough game, and you're completely right about this. A lot of magic burst, the Bloodseeker existing, right? It's a difficult game for Timbersaw, which is why I think Neon's choice to put him as a 5 is quite smart, because the way that Timber 5 plays is very, very different than a Timbersaw in the offlane role or even mid role. You're not supposed to be as much of a tank. You're much more supposed to be a huge damage dealer. So if you die early or if they burst you down, which is particularly what Motivate can do, not that big a deal for you, because you're not meant to do that anyway. And you're supposed to be a lane securer as well. Apparently Timbersaw's 5's lane is really strong, but I haven't seen this hero in action in competitive just yet. I'm just going on what I've seen in immortal level pubs.
Yeah, I still think it's pretty darn good.
Which are not my pubs, by the way. I'm watching better players than me.
Yeah, I think it's still pretty darn good, though, because this gives you someone that can be tanky up front, so long as Januel actually can afford to get some experience. Yes, he's going to be bursted, but you're not always going to really want to be using a Rupture for a position 5, right? Even if it is really good against Timbersaw.
I agree.
But even then, if he gets ruptured late game, you're like, oh, perfect. There's one, maybe of 2 rupture charges, right? Already used on Timber. Because if you look at his team, Timber's got a lot of other people who want to be running around in the fights as well. Actually, all these guys want to be running around in fights, right? Earth Spirit is no stranger to literally rolling around, getting his hands dirty in the mud because he's made of it. Sanking as well needs to be running around, Burrow striking in. Schem has different movement granted in team fights with the Haunt, but, you know, the concept applies.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think there's a... Oh, careful. Nice arrow to help with Timbersaw, but I think he... No, he's fine, he's fine. He still has okay stats, survived one level 1.
And Timber Chain.
Fight.
Timber Chain level 1, though. Yeah,
it's the better... It's actually the biggest... like, you can either go Whirling Death or Timber Chain, but I do find that Timber Chain as a support is a bit better at harassing.
If they end up tri-laning, I'm curious. If he knew he was in a tri-lane, would he still have gone for this? I would say yes.
Yes,
because
it's much better.
Because you just do more damage, especially if you can actually get multiple people caught in the latch.
Yeah, exactly. Like, it's also the fact that it gives you everything Timbersaw needs. Mobility and damage all in one with a low cooldown spell, right? Whirling Death slightly has a higher cooldown. So you can play a bit easier for this. But it's still difficult because Timbersaw, we're so used to seeing him with reactive armor. We always think of him as a tank.
Yeah.
But without that ability, you're actually kind of weak. As, you know, in terms of trading. Your base stats are pretty awful. It's okay damage, pretty decent HP, but really bad armor and bad movement speed as well.
My fellow support players will know What did Timber skill first? And these days, it's almost always the Timber chain. More likely the
Yep.
Whirling Death when it's an offlaner. So you go, oh boy, now I can actually damage him, and you start right-clicking him because afterwards, it's literally nothing. If anything, it's worse on a support like Lion to just like right-click him because you're just giving him more regen.
If you're lying, you actually are healing him every time
Yep.
you hit him, which is
It's true.
ridiculous, right?
It's true,
You're
yeah.
worse than a creep.
Speaking of healing when hitting, Jackie is going to pop the Metamorphosis while Boombell says, Mr. President, get down, and eats the arrow for him. Short duration. But first wave secured thanks to the help of the Metamorphosis for Jackie, who again has a beautiful Terrorblade set as well.
Yeah, this guy always has really nice cosmetics. Huh?
He really does.
He has good style.
He really does. Mid?
Well, I like this lane for them. I don't think the Sanking... I mean, Sanking can put a little bit of pressure against Terrorblade, but your Metamorphosis helps a lot in this lane. And according to some of the best Terrorblade players, you should just abuse this Metamorphosis whenever it's off cooldown, right? Like, a lot of people back in the day used to really think, like, oh, you have to use it at the right time, counter their initiation. But nowadays, listen to people like Costabile, who plays Terrorblade exclusively, and he'll go, nah, just use it whenever it's off cooldown. Like, just abuse this lane and try to force the off-laner out.
Yep, Jean-Noel is going to stay alive for now, but unfortunately without the reactive armor, no healing self. He's going to be giving a lot of thirst movement speed here to Masaros. Mid lane as well, Yopaj contributing a bit to that. It's both of the brothers here in the mid lane are doing a fair chunk of damage to each other. Of course, the thirst only going to be benefiting the team with the Lifestealer. Oh no, the courier run little Butch. Good turn though. Onto Sket, he's dead. First blood. Avatos combo there, baiting the courier kill. Instead, Spectre sacrifices herself for the life of our dog, Courier.
The prize is mine.
Get out of there, little Pudge.
Unfortunate.
Mid lane, we do have a rotation out from Marana. Level 1 only with arrow available. Yopaj, okay, last bottle sip for him. Gets a tango delivered for him and has a healing salve on the way, but he is not having that fun of a game here. His older brother out-CSing him by a whole wave, and he's going to be a bit scared. Big power spike here, though, of course, for our Storm Spirit at level 3 and 4. So Yopaj cannot get within Electric Vortex range of his brother, otherwise he's just dead. Oh, nice job
nice
canceling.
though, the cell. Yeah, all the arrow as well. They're actually all going against Fearless. Everyone. Fearless is currently in a war. He's just dodging things left, right, and center. Finally hit by the rolling boulder. Goes for the combo here on his brother. Almost kills Yopaj, and the tower. Watch, he aggroed him for 2 hits. Oh, no, he meant to die. He meant to die there. Okay. Because he walked back in, so he wanted to die, I guess, to just respawn. He did get the experience out of the skill, so still a win for you, but at least you get a bit of extra gold if you're the Storm Spirit.
Yep.
Now Q going for a counter initiation against Playhard, Tower helping out. Only 1 hit though, not going to be enough. They need the second one if they want to beat that Fairy
he's gonna
Fire.
get it.
Q does have vision of him, but...
Yeah, but no global spells yet, anyway. Maybe in 30 minutes, Storm Spirit can be considered global, but not quite yet, anyway. Top lane with the Marana missing, JG is going to get her forced out of lane, zoned out of lane, rather, by Boombell. I think it was zoomed out of lane. Ocean and Husky, you know, are up here already in the SEA region. At the same time, though, Masaros has got a lot of thirst movement speed, threatening to kill onto Skem, but he's a little bit confident here, given that there's no Tiny, still getting caught by the Blood Right. As I don't think they can realistically catch him here. It's just too darn quick. Not enough trees even around to Timber Chain, too.
No, but you're getting him out of lane, which is already a win against the Blood Seeker, to be honest. Spectre's farming really well for this lane, and they forced a lot of rotations way too early. Masaros is kind of struggling. I mean, he's playing as aggressively as he can, but because his support constantly leaves, then they're giving a fair amount of space to Spectre, which I'm sure that Neon is super happy to use here. And we still haven't seen the peak for this Earth Spirit, right? Like, right now, his lane is just okay. He's losing slightly to the Storm, but he's going to come online much sooner than the Storm. Because level 6 for Earth Spirit is pretty much all he needs to start pushing hard. I think the real peak is level 10 for mid Earth Spirit, though. When you get the 50 damage down, that's when you start to hurt a lot.
5-minute runes here. A little bit of jousting for it down bottom. Masaro's quite low on HP, but Q nearby. Again, no points at all in the reactive armor. He's opted for the second point in Timber Chain instead, so he's very, very easy food there. I'm not even sure, to be honest, if the reactive armor would have done anything, because that's all magic burst and pure from the Blood Right.
Yeah, I mean, I think the issue with reactive armor is that even if you can't get like the one cheeky point, you have to kind of commit to it completely or don't commit to it at all. Otherwise, it's kind of trash. JG in the top lane. Boombell could die. They get a Burrow Strike on with a leap. Starstorm, and Boombell is dead. There we go. Very easy, simple, clean kill for them. Jackie unable to help his support.
There's follow-up. Yopaj is here, too. They're going to try maybe for him. For Skem, that is. I'm sorry, for Jackie.
Yeah, they don't stun there yet. He's level 5. No meta for 23 seconds. Jackie. Oh, surprise. Yopaj barely misses, but still fine.
Big rotation. Good rotation.
So look at his build, by the way. The Terrorblade actually went for 3 points in Metamorphosis. Rarely do you see this nowadays. Most Terrorblades will actually go for only the 2 points and max Conjure Image instead to recover after the lane. But this guy put a lot of points into trying to be better in the lane, not working out too well for them as Yopaj rotates pretty early.
I mean, yeah, with the 5-minute rune, it's I would say more normal with the Earth Spirit, especially mid lane, right? You want him to be having more of a global presence and scaring them. But Q, nice counter rotation. Yopaj might be dead, has the Magnetize and will use it, but not enough real HP here to survive as there's another zip forward, giving another overload attack. Fearless has the damage, even the illusion rune to purge off the Magnetize. Nicely done.
Yeah, well played. I mean, that's the issue, right? You rotate a bit early, you're a bit behind the Storm in terms of experience and in terms of gold, right? So you try to create some things in the rest of the lanes.
Yeah.
That's what you should be doing. But Storm can still
you come back when Storm has a really big peak at level 6, right? There's not too many mid laners where Storm hits 6 against and he's not immediately running at them.
Or at least completely invulnerable too, right? Which
Yes. Yeah, good point, yeah.
Schem he barely missed that blood right now. It's time to go for Masaros. They're looking for this kill. But unfortunately, Timbersaw brings a lot of damage, but no slows, no stuns, which means that's all to the core. But Spectre only has a Spectral Dagger, which is not good enough against the Bloodseeker.
No, and there's actually Tiny rotating. I think Schem is dead here if they can land the toss. We're going to throw the creep. That should get the job done here, as with the move speed from Thirst, Masaros was easily able to run down the Spectre. Now has Rupture available and a full Hood of Defiance to boot. And it's just going to be delivered on the
Not
quarter.
bad, honestly. Getting that kill on that bottom pretty nice, especially considering Terrorblade also got ganked earlier, but Terrorblade required a mid laner, whereas down bottom you really only have to rotate your 4. And making sure that you're being useful with your time right now for Motivate is so important, considering they have a much greedier draft. They have to essentially stretch out their minutes to make sure they get farm on their cores and still are capable of creating space this game. That's why their supports have so much riding on their backs, and the Bloodseeker as well.
So yeah, indeed, it's a good thing. I mean, we could see even an early rotation out from Masaros, which would be pretty scary. You know, put the fear of Bloodseeker in them, as Drag and Drop would like to say. Q. He's going to be getting the Abbott toss combo here, nearly nuking down Playhard. My goodness, setting up for a nice zip zap forward though. The toss now, as they're looking to punish Fearless on this. Marana utilizing rather that third leap charge as Fearless is going to be forced back, but the rolling boulder will predict him. They have vision there, I believe, thanks to the creep. We need a bit more. Another boulder smash in 3 seconds should do the trick, but now it can perhaps be Yopaj in trouble as Fearless dodging the boulder smash there, I believe, or using the wand charges, and now Yopaj is going to be the one that will be killed. Jackie, meanwhile, farming nearby, stacking a camp for himself, is going to actually get himself well with an experience rage, and he goes immediately back to farming. Back and forth again, but well, at the end of the day, it's going to be Motivate.Trust coming out ahead of that little skirmish.
Considerably, right? Storm, we did mention, he's just become a bit invulnerable there. That he did play a bit aggressively, but I would trust the pro player to know where his limit is, really. And he didn't overextend there whatsoever. Fearless did a good job. Was able to just back out. Q, really good rotation there with the Tiny as well, ensuring that he was prepared to fight against the Earth Spirits. Let's see, though, because they go for a 2-man smoke gank. I don't know what they're trying to find. Maybe they think Spectre is farming their jungle. No, because Spectre was just seen mid. So they're trying to backdoor? Or
well, the smoke was also scouted, by the way. So
right, yeah,
with the wards.
the wards on them.
But yeah, so Neon should not have any difficulties here. But yeah, it was a good decision as well to commit underneath the tier 1 for that little zip, just to make sure Playhard is forced to use that third leap charge, because then Playhard really can't offer much else to the fight, right? If he has one leap charge, maybe he can use that to collect another kill, or maybe, you know, escape and be a little bit more annoying. But if you force it out from him immediately, there's no question that that's going to be the Marana's teamfight presence early on, unless they land a godlike arrow, but that's not dependent on leap charges anyway.
That bottom, Masaros has started to push the tower pretty hard. He's committing to this tier 1, and they're already rotating the Terrorblade, right? So there's the typical play where Terrorblade rotates Metamorphosis, they take a tower, and then you proceed to invade the enemy jungle. Very common when you see Terrorblade played. Meanwhile, you can support to kind of cover your mid lane from the catapult push, and you're good to go. I also like Masaros' build, by the way, a lot. He actually went for an early Hood of Defiance before the Veil of Discord, usually skipping boots, it's normal. And that Hood is going to be so useful to stop the Sanking and Earth Spirits peak early.
Scan away. Maybe they thought more heroes were there. Invis Rune picked up by Kaolin, the Earth Spirit. So he's going to be continuing to get some nice levels here, but net worth here, or the network rather, all in favor of Motivate.Trust. Nice job there. They jump into Yopaj. He is going to be very dead. 4 heroes there to dance on his body.
It's surprising. I almost think that Trust has Like, they play better. I've seen them play greedy lineups a lot, and they're just really good at being flexible when they play greedy lineups. Like, their supports are incredible. They're always where they need to be. They're creating space constantly. Masaro's, like, playing like, some completely sacrificial offlaner. And you wouldn't think that they have the greedier draft this game, but yeah, they do. Tiny finding the Spectre. Really good cookie with the Blood Right, guaranteeing the kill on Scam. They even see the Sanking. Could go for JG, slow him down slightly, but he can just TP immediately. I don't think they have the speed to catch up to him.
He does get the Blink Dagger there, though, here on our Sand King, so they are going to be looking for a re-engage. We need the Blink, though, first on JG. The Courier on the way now, so Yopaj will show in lane, probably push the one wave, expecting either a support or maybe even the Storm Spirit if they're lucky to come and push it back out. So they're going to smoke here. Oh, Moonlight Shadow, even better. And then maybe look for Masaros. Not the best kill, but if they can get it, they'll be very happy. The arrow does not connect. Spectral Haunt to Skem. Get him a little bit of golden experience here for this kill, potentially help him catch up. But now they're going to be looking for the defense here as Fearless doing massive damage to everyone with the overload attack. They do have a Blade Mail already by Skem, so careful there as Yopaj will now die. Beautiful two-man stun, though, is going to be able to punish there. That Storm Spirit, as now Q will perish to the chakra of the position 5 Timbersaw.
Yeah, and this is more what I was expecting, to be honest with you. Neon has the better team fight in general. They are hitting the power picks more or less. This is the kind of team fights they should be taking. The only, I don't know if it's a mistake there, but whatever. The Bloodseeker should have ruptured something before he died. There was no reason for him to keep it, honestly, because he was going to die there anyway. That could have maybe netted an extra kill. Regardless, though, that was just really well played by Neon. Starting to rotate like they should, forcing 5-on-5 engagements. That is the name of the game for them. They have to play a bit more aggressively, take advantage of the Sanking and Earth Spirit a bit more. And another smoke gank is coming by. Hopefully they catch Jackie. JG, he realizes Blink Dagger available in 1 second. Can burrow strike him, but there's people nearby. JG is biding his time. He doesn't have Epicenter, so he doesn't have that great source of magical damage. He's going to go just for
Great
JG,
arrow.
sets up for the arrow. JG is disintegrated as the Storm realizes his mistake, but the Blood Right zones him out. Now going for Yopaj. Beautiful cookie, stunning too, and getting the double kill because of that cookie. But a Burst Strike trying to do the same thing as he stunned 2 cores. JG trying to get away, and Boom Bell is done with this. He starts spitting fire into the battlefield, catching up Skem and destroying him. It's going to be a really good team fight for them, but it's not quite over as Masaros bit off more than he could chew. The cookie might not save him. Mirana's chasing after him, but the Blood Right is going to deter their aggression.
Yeah, he caught an arrow there as he was going on in, but they're not even going to lose him. Very nice job. Even Skem here joining the fight with the Blade Mail. Level 4 Dispersion feels pretty strong, but with 4 heroes around to soak up the damage, Snapfire out of Dispersion range, it's not a problem there.
I mean, that was just really well played again by Motivate the counter initiation, particularly the Snapfire. Boom Bell is ridiculous. I talked about how good Q is on the Snapfire because we saw a really good performance by him last game in general, right? But Boom Bell is... everyone in this team apparently can play Snapfire because I've seen as well.
Great
Felix play
positioning.
Snapfire.
Speaking of Boom Bell, nice positioning there. He's going to break the smoke. They might kill him, although now that the boulder misses, they will get a big silence. Okay, that's fine. It's Boom Bell. That's him doing his job there.
Tank the gank.
Tank the gank.
The gank.
They did manage to actually kill Jackie in that previous fight, so, you know, it's important that they don't kill him more than once in a row. Once is fine, you know, it's just a little bit of time when you're not farming. You go, okay, maybe I should not have been farming there. Even with my team, it was a little bit risky. There's a Blink Dagger available as they're considering still rolling onto him. They do see each other, though, so, you know, they're going to back off. Just a little bit of posturing there with the two.
Yeah, just looking at each other, sizing each other up. Like,
Yeah,
What about
pretty
you?
much. Exactly. That's what that is. Jackie goes, I don't care about you. And Neon's going, yeah, we'll kill you. We'll kill you. We'll do it. I'm crazy. Okay,
now
go
Jackie's
ahead.
hearing you, and you're like, okay, I'm going to the trees. I'm TPing. Okay, you win. It's fine. I don't want to fight you just yet.
Moonlight Shadow Scouted. They will get their ward dewarded, however, so that makes the triangle a little bit scarier to farm. And a nice ward here as well from Neon Esports to see anyone farming those Ancients without blocking it, as Janwell will now block it, actually, with the Sentry. But again, a good Sentry, because I don't think it's possible to deward... well, you do have a really valuable Sentry ward somewhere like here, which will catch 2 Sentries, deward your camp, and we can basically get all of those. But yeah, we'll see how that works out for them.
Well, for now, Motivate still wants to put the aggression, so they're gonna try to disturb the Spectre. Masaros really nearby. They can rupture him, but they want everyone to be ready for this. There they go, Timbersaw. Actually missing the Timber Chain. They have already seen them. you mentioned, they've been scouted, so they decide to just fall back and maybe take a tower.
They're only going to catch
danger.
they're only going to catch the sentries with this. They're not going to actually catch the observer ward. So they thought they put down 2 sentries, probably just meaning to do 1, because they must have thought the Spectre was maybe Invis or Moonlight Shadowed. Maybe they were expecting more heroes there, but she was just simply farming in a safer spot there, cutting these trees because she knows that it's not too uncommon to have a ward here.
Yeah.
But they're not going to get the D ward.
They already have a pipe, I think, for Masaros. Yeah, there we go. Quite an early pipe, honestly. I like this build a lot for the Bloodseeker. Sometimes you have to accept that, yeah, Yules is nice and everything, but you just need those aura items. And this game, I was going to negate a fair amount of damage. Epicenter, I don't know if that's even worth using at any point this game anymore with a pipe on, honestly.
Yeah, I mean it will help though, right? Because if it'll burst through the pipe really nicely. Because the problem is if you don't get rid of the barrier, then Earth Spirit is pretty useless. Magnetize specifically is just so bad, right? Because
he sets up for the magnet.
Exactly, right? So you can use one or the other that way at the very least. So it's still important to use. I understand your point. No one's going to be melting to early game epicenters. Speaking of melting, they need a little bit more here for Jean-Noel. And the cookie stun, not going to find it. But Masaros, actually, no, they're going to give the kill to Jackie with the Conjure image.
Nice,
but yeah.
Next level play.
Oh, Fearless.
He does ball lightning, though. I don't think he's going to die here, to be honest. He can just ball lightning super far away.
Yeah, they don't know he's there.
As well.
I think they don't know he's there. JG's like scowling and prowling here in the trees. Fearless. JG. Oh, he's going to TP.
Can you cancel this? They'll see them. And that skims alone. Now that they see the Sanctum mid. Oh, but they have Moonlight Shadow, so they haven't revealed themselves yet. I'm going to take a tower mid. Bloodseeker alone. There we go. Set up the Barrow Strike. With the Rolling Boulder as well. There's the Epicenter cancelled by the Avatos combo.
Yeah,
and
good counter.
destroy as well the tower. Bloodseeker tanking a ridiculous amount. They start using Mortimer's Kisses. Masaro's still alive for now. Trying to run away. He gets away alive, even with the Magnet that's on him.
Scam's
And in
dead.
fact, it's Timbersaw who dies together with
Scam's
Yopaj. And
alive.
Scam is trying to run away, but a Vault Lightning will catch up to him. Motivate didn't even lose Masaros there. The beauty of the pipe. What a good pickup on this Bloodseeker.
Yep, that's the pipe at action. And a beautiful counter initiation there from Q. Have to
Yes.
give kudos to him. He would have been dead for sure. The team fight probably still would have been a win had the Epicenter gone off, but it's no question that losing 0 heroes is definitely the best outcome after a team fight. So they're going to get the tower, 3 kills, and continue to extend their net worth lead. Now up to 9K here. Looks like we've traded places here as this game, Motivate.Trust having a very commanding lead over this game.
Radiant structures are fortified.
They might try for Jackie here, who's not had to use Sunder yet, but does have level 2. Q, in the meantime, is going to find a pickoff onto a cat. No big deal there. Nothing to see. Avatos combo just doing the trick. This is kind of when it's at its strongest here, especially versus the supports of Neon Esports. So we might see even another kill here with the Haste Rune. Tiny. Hasted up. Is not really going to seem too much, unfortunately, on the map. So no great targets for him to utilize this Haste Rune with. Bottom, Scam is farming. Once again, Fearless is nearby. Has the Kaya. Almost enough money already for the BKB to boot, so he's looking real good as JG is going to be the one to get caught. Manages to dodge the Blood Right, but the Rupture will connect onto him. Masaros is going to now eat the Rolling Boulder as well as the Magnetize out from one. JG, a few seconds left on this Rupture. 12 seconds left for Epicenter, but Masaros should just be able to leave now. Oh, another stun, though, with the Blink Dagger, but Q counter-initiating yet again. Dead is going to be JG. Masaros finally will die at the very least as Q. Boulder Smash stun will connect. Cookie stunning Earth Spirit on the way out. We don't have another arrow. Q should be okay. Nice Rolling Boulder. They're really committing for this one. We don't have any more remnants, though, and just the Boulder Smash alone would not have killed them, so the Blink Away is totally fine and free. Boom Bell now as the arrow will be eaten by the Conjure image of the TB. Cookie, the kisses. Yeah, they're turning this beautifully. It is only position 5 Timbersaw there, but even still a great kill as you turn it into a 2-for-1.
I mean, it was just very beautiful, honestly. Like, you killed offlaner for offlaner because you played that really well. The last second blink by Q was also, like, on point. He was literally mid-attack, right?
Yep.
Incredible. And even the Cookie by Boom Bell, they played that really, really, really well.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, man, these supports and this offlaner for Motivate are doing some heavy lifting this game. You have Storm and Terrorblade farming constantly, and these two guys are just making this ridiculous amount of space for them.
Yeah, I was about to highlight that. Sure, you end up losing one. Tiny almost dies. Boom Bell almost dies. But these are the positions 3, 4, and 5. This is their jobs. This is, I mean, look at how free Jackie is to farm. He's going for the Aghanim Scepter second item here. A bit surprising, I will say. But I think it has its uses this game early on, to be honest with you. In case you don't know, it's no longer on the cast of Metamorphosis. Now, whenever you have Metamorphosis active, it adds a second button with a 2-minute cooldown, I believe, that applies a 4-second fear and a just ginormous AoE. I think it's like 1200 AoE around him, I believe. 1600, even bigger, so that is massive. But they are fighting here. Taunt's committed. That's going to be the kill on Tommaso, so he didn't get the pipe off that time, as the Blink Dagger out from the Sand King will surprise him. Q looking to run away. Doing a good job this time of making sure the Blink Dagger is canceled, so this should be a relatively easy kill. But the counter initiation now from Fearless as he zips on in with the BKB. Blade Mail completely being ignored as now is Jackie getting stunned by an arrow, but did activate the meta, so he was looking forward to having a fight here. He should now be forced back, but at least he can continue farming a little faster with this. There's the Aghanim Scepter, by the way.
Okay, yeah, the Ags on the TB is a good way to make sure that you can have even more time this game, right? It's a great way to counter initiate the enemy. You already have some decent counter initiation.
He doesn't even... Okay, so I guess this is a bit of a strange interaction, but if you click on over to him, I think he casted Metamorphosis and then the Ags got delivered.
Yeah, so he doesn't have it.
So he doesn't have it. That's a little lame. I think Valve should... I think that's unnecessary, to be honest with you.
Well, because what happens is the Ags upgrade actually, it upgrades Metamorphosis, right?
Yeah.
So that when you click Metamorphosis, it gives you that ability. It doesn't actually upgrade to give you the extra ability.
Yeah, I mean, I get that, because I think it's the same thing, right? Where if you Metamorphosis at level 2 and then you gain a skill point and use it, but it doesn't upgrade your damage, right? It shouldn't.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay,
There's
I
only
mean,
one ability that works that way, which
sure.
is the bear.
Okay, that makes sense. That makes
From the
sense.
lone druid.
I understand it now. I eat my words, Valve. As Q is going
You
to
are a
make
genius, Gaben. Please.
Tiny eats, or he's gonna make Mirana eat a bunch of rocks, which is not too healthy for her. Gapage is gonna be scanned out. That's gonna allow Fearless to fearlessly jump up, and they have plenty of life down here for the brother. More fratricide.
This Earth Spirit has really not worked out, to be honest. I actually have more complaints about the Earth Spirit than the Timbersaw.
Yep,
really.
me too.
Because the Earth Spirit mid, I know it's a really popular pick for Yapaj, and he has done really well with it before. And his power peak, like I mentioned in the draft, is pretty nice, and you can run down the enemy team. But this time you had one slight issue, which is that Earth Spirit's lane is not naturally good against Storm Spirit. Right?
Yeah.
At all. Storm is actually quite good against most melee laners, which is surprising you'd still commit to Earth Spirit mid. I actually would have rather seen the Timbersaw mid, to be honest, because he can kind of deal with Storm Spirit in lane.
Yeah, I get what you're saying there. I think they
just
both
cut lanes.
they both have. Yeah, that's true. You cut the lane envy style, right? They both have similar issues. Yeah, because once you saw like levels 1 to 7 really is where Earth Spirit is quite strong. 10 especially, like you said, with the talent. But mostly because just Boulder Smash just so much goddamn damage that it's ridiculous, right?
Yeah.
So that's normally why you win mid lane Earth Spirit. But the problem is you need to be either within range to actually capitalize on that, and Storm Spirit is very willing to fight you with his little 3-step combo, especially when he's level 3 and 4, which we saw really just murder this mid lane Yopaj. Masaros is in trouble. He's breaking the smoke. As Fearless jumping in now. BKB active. They can't even get through Masaros. In fact, they're not going to be able to. The mechanism coming off, he is just too darn tanky here. Even with the pipe, Skemperlu all of a sudden in a really bad position, looking for the kill on the Boom Bellas. They're going to try and counter-initiate this, but the stun is not going to commit. The Epicenter completely wasted. Scam at least might live here. No, you thought Q with the Avalanche is going to cancel that one quite quickly. Masaros as well, even healing off a little bit off the kill. Whew.
Masaros surviving that was absolutely absurd. And what I love as well is that Masaros actually used the pipe before coming in, right? So TB kept that pipe up until the very end of the match, and when he used the fight, sorry. And when he used the Epicenter, they're like, oh wait, he still has the pipe on? What do I do now? Like Epicenter's already wet paper. Imagine with the pipe. Right? It makes it a useless skill.
Even better, right? Masaros puts down the Blood Right, so it's like, all right, if you want to stun in here, you're going to be silenced for a few seconds so you can't get off the Sandstorm. So pick your poison there. So I think both of those things actually is like, well, I guess we're not killing TB. That killed their chance at a counter.
Or anyone. That was really well played by Masaros. I love the mech play as well by the Snapfire. She died, yes, but it was worth it just to save Masaros. And there's the play, Blood Rage into the Avatar combo. Nobody can really survive that reliably. But that was a bit too aggressive. Maybe not, actually. They keep fighting here. Snapfire's coming by. She doesn't have more kisses, but she does bring a mech to heal Q, but no need. The cookie will do the trick, and now instead of Sanking, who's in trouble, they have dusted him. They do see him. JG's forced to get out of the Sandstorm. They have Rupture on Masaros, so they want to fight this. And they just don't need to do anything, though. They're just scaring away Neon.
Yeah, I saw Fearless there. Looked like he was ready to jump in, but he's like, nah, don't do it. Don't bother, guys. We're just gonna go. Let's just get 4 bounties here. Let's not like push anything too crazy. We don't have Metamorphosis up. We don't have Kisses. let's just chill. And I think that's the right idea here. They can now take their time, go for Roche as Yopaj rolling in very aggressively, silenced up, Avatos combo. Does have the Blade Mail on the Essence Ring, trying to at least live as long as he can here. And they're not going to be able to finish him off as the rotation's coming through. Motivate.Trust, they don't want to throw this lead. I think they saw yesterday's game, AG versus, who was it, Signal? When they came back down from 30k. Yeah, that's going to be a kill onto Tiny. One of the few they managed to get here this game. Neon down 12 kills here, 25 minutes in.
I mean, now they're taking the tower up top. Jackie has farmed a ridiculous amount, and no longer does the quote-unquote greedy lineup issue apply.
Yep.
Because you're farmed enough. Like now, it's Neon's game going really. Like honestly, they shouldn't have lost the early mid game as much as they did. But
Fearless?
now it's really difficult. Storm in trouble. He has BKB though, but he
Can't
doesn't
use
it
it.
in time. Well
Beautiful
played,
arrow.
actually, really important kill, and that's with Bloodstone as well. So you're reducing his charges considerably there.
Beautiful
Pretty
arrow.
important.
They collect a kill onto Masaros. Maybe not by accident, but he's collateral, and they're happy to take that. But Scam, he is in trouble here. Activates the Blade Mail, but Jackie just dishing it in here, even stepping closer to get more damage applied. As they will haunt and buy back, but who's going to be the target? Januel nearby. We need JG to realistically counter-initiate this. At least one, but there's going to be the ginormous Fear Wave, and see you later, Alligator, dude. That's the buyback. More or less wasted there, I want to say here, by the Spectre. Boombell even doing a good job of trying to escape, as they have killed Januel even, but they will at least finish off the Snapfire.
No, weird play by John L going that far in, but it doesn't really matter. Jackie, they're showing why the Ags was a good second end in this game. It's just great for a long game in the game when the enemy team still wants to play aggressive, because they just got a really good kill mid and they want to take advantage of it. Immediately they kill Q kills play hard, but in exchange for his own life, I believe.
Yep.
I don't think Jackie can really help him. He realizes there's 4 heroes here, so Jackie just needs to get away, and nobody's going to chase after them. Masaros was also joining in.
Yeah, we could use a force staff here for the side of Motivate.Trust, actually, and one of the supports. The mechanism is good and all, but you need to be able to force staff someone away, because if the problem right now is if they land one stun, there's going to be an arrow following up, and that's why Fearless dies there. That's why Jackie has died previously in this game. So just the force staff as the little combo breaker is going to do them really good work here. So I'd really like to see one queued up here. The Greaves is good and all, and there it is. Okay, one queued up by Tiny, because that's really the main issue they're running into.
Yep, I agree. I think a bit of extra save for the team, and you're pretty much good to go. Honestly,
Yep.
like this game is
Totally.
looking harder and harder for Neon, especially because Spectre has not managed to recover her farm at all. Actually, she's as farm as the Bloodseeker, while Terrorblade quite literally doubles the farm right now, which is a bit ridiculous. I mean, Terrorblade already has a really good matchup against Spectre to begin with. Imagine with like 2 extra items, right?
Yeah,
It's,
and not to mention almost pretty much a third core at this point. Is pipe on pipe action here. JG looking to run away, gets the Burrow Strike off to the low ground, but Fearless following suit. The mechanism's not able to keep him alive, unfortunately, as the kisses were even committed. Fearless still has a BKB, a little bit low on mana with a 12 Bloodstone charge, but they're going to be looking to fight this one as Neon will now buy back. That's going to get Motivate.Trust to now look for the escape. They're trying to retreat. Meta's up in 15, so if they can buy themselves a bit of time, they might look to re-engage here. Scam likely to get the kill with the Blood Right Blade Mail. He will be able to do so. As Fearless now pops his own BKB. Q trying to nuke down the Timbersaw. Down he goes, but will he be caught not by the Rolling Boulder, as buybacks all around now on each side. As Boombell jumping in with the cookie, but Q's still alive. Jackie's going to have the meta in a second, as well as the Fear Wave. Just look at this thing go. Catches all 5 heroes now. Masaros still running at them. They've managed to isolate Yopaj as well. Divide and conquered, as he will now die. Does have the buyback, but at this point they do not want to be fighting Jackie. This guy is too strong. I say that though, but they're going back in, Avo.
Yeah, the Masaros had no chill, and Jackie's like, "What are you doing, dude? And we weren't even close to you." This guy, you know, he smells blood. He just can't let go, right? He just keeps seeing red, and he just chases after you. I mean, you did force, like, what, 3 buybacks, I believe, in that fight for
3
Neon?
buybacks.
Yeah, I think it's still a win, despite you losing the Bloodseeker. Dying back, I think, the Bloodseeker there. It's okay. You're going for a Roshan. A bit dangerous here since you don't have the Terror Wave, so, you know, play a bit more chill here. There's no need Motivate to throw the game in one of those shots.
Yeah, but Neon, they're hard-pressed to get something out of all these buybacks, though, so they're going to need to fight around this road. You still have Fearless, 14 Bloodstone charges, now BKB, so he's still pretty useful, has a lot of damage. TB, though, the meta is going to time out, so this is going to be a little bit hard. We have the Kisses in 15, and of course the Tiny combo, which still does insane damage at this point. But the pipe to negate a lot of it here. We'll see how they do.
They're trying to buy their time as much as possible, so you see if Bloodseeker can just come back. Jackie doesn't have meta either. They throw him in. He does have BKB. Storm going in. They realize Roshan is actually not as low as they expected, so they just start hitting it instead. Aegis goes to Fearless. They're fine. Both BKB. They're kind of invulnerable here, and they're just pummeling the poor Spectre. Scam won't be able to come back into this fight at all. 105 seconds without her, but now catching them with a Power Strike. They'll lose the Aegis first. Jackie Thunders, and that's good enough. Jackie now, they realize they can't beat him, and so they all start to run away, but Yopaj can't run against Q. Yopaj just has to double back as they're fighting the Sand King as well. Who are they going to go for? The easy kill. Yopaj, it seems like, as your brother chasing after you. And again, it's the younger brother making life difficult for the middle bro. With Q still trying to catch after Jonel. They do have a Yol Scepter set up for this toss. Get him a bit more space. What are you going to do, TimberSaw? Just resign yourself to dying to the Terrorblade, apparently. Because that Scotty's a bit too strong. Even Masaros joins in towards the end to ensure this kill certainly occurs.
Yeah, unfortunately, the Timber 5 just really hasn't worked out for them this game. It's not really that fault, no. I think, like we were saying earlier, the mid lane just completely did not get off to a good start. You know, that's like picking a Broodmother mid and then having the Broodmother lose the mid lane. You're almost without a hero then at that point, unfortunately. And that's kind of what it looks like in these fights, to be honest with you. Scam just completely getting deleted in that rush fight. Everyone popping the BKB, and Scam pops the Blade Mail, which is not going to be as good for her, unfortunately. It does a lot of damage. Not like the BKB would have been much better, just because they have so much physical damage anyway to go through it. And of course, Fearless is the best candidate at this point to be picking up the Aegis, because he comes back with full mana and full HP, which is great for him. He's happy to die there.
Radiant structures.
Game is hard.
The tower
here.
is just going to fall so quickly. It's Sand King still has Epi, and you actually still have Magnetas as well on your spirits. And this pipe is kind of making most of this damage. And right now, it's too difficult to bring down these BKB. The heroes, both Fearless and Jackie, have been using those abilities, or sorry, those items to pretty much negate any damage that Neon can bring to this game.
Yep. Yeah. The TBX just proving to be a bit too much of a problem here for these guys. As in the buyback fight, maybe underestimating it. It doesn't have that long of a cooldown, 90 seconds. I believe it used to be, well, it used to be tied to meta, which has a much longer cooldown, actually. So it's essentially up every single metamorphosis, is the way to think about it.
Yeah, now it's essentially up every single metamorphosis. You can't use it twice unless you have some sort of refresher or whatever. Like otherwise, you can't use it twice in the same meta. But the advantage of it is that before it used to just activate it when you activate meta, which sucked.
Yeah.
Now you can always keep it as like an emergency button when you have meta on.
Yeah, because so many times it's like the TB doesn't really want to be in the middle of 5 enemy heroes when it uses meta, right? Usually he wants to meta first and then get in between 5 enemy heroes.
You also don't want to force him back necessarily when you first use meta. You kind of want to hit him first,
Yeah,
so
yeah.
It's better as a contingency plan. I actually love the design though of the new Ags. I think it's really cool.
Neon, they're looking for a fight here, but they're going to be against Fearless with the Ags. Haunt in. Okay, who can they find though?
Nice force back.
Not really anyone. John Wall is just going to die for that one.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I think Yopaj might just go down here. He used the Rupture on him. Yopaj has to sacrifice himself. There we go. Jonel also going in. Terrorblade doesn't have meta, but they can still fight, at least for the few heroes right here. Really, really
Fearless?
chaotic team fight.
Fearless is dead?
Storm
In trouble?
needs to use BKB.
Oh, the Sunder.
Sunder saving him. BKB by Jackie. Look at this selfless Terrorblade.
Yeah, that's GG, I think, here, unfortunately, for Neon. Scam, he's got the Blade Mail active, but Jackie able to out-heal him there with the Satanic. Cookie there to seal the deal. This game's over. Just eat it, Cookie, says Boombell.
Nice job, Al, by the Terrorblade. Really good Sunder there. That was kind of the turning point of the team fight. Because if they got the Storm Spirit there, it would have been almost justifiable, because then they could just retreat. But afterward, it just turned into a really difficult fight for them. I think Yopaj, he's just so desperate to do something this game. Like, you're not playing support, you're playing mid. You can't really commit to those plays.
Yeah.
When
It's
you
kind of
Jackie just to
unfortunate.
get to the racks faster.
Q is literally threatening to kill Playhard right now.
Yeah. He doesn't even have Blood Rage on. They don't need it.
Oh, they don't have the meta.
Rage too.
They don't have the meta. They can't get Megas here, though, which is just about to be, I mean, basically the kiss of death here for this lineup. They don't really deal with
Mortimer
Megas too
kiss of
well.
death.
Yes.
That's the arrow. He walked into it. Make sure to catch it. Good job.
Got it, guys. Don't worry.
Yeah, nobody's gonna get hit by a loose arrow. Right? Loose arrow kill over 10 heroes a year. So you gotta be really careful. Catching them is the safest part.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
Alright, there's the buyback, but it's going to have to be a 3v5 effort here with the Metamorphosis active. They do not want to approach him. Problem is he just used it, so they're going to have to, lest they fight the Mega Creep. So Saros just playing the perfect offlaner here, as they will call it. Now Neon, they know that there's no opening here for them to try and reinitiate here. As Motivate.Trust will strike back just as hard as Neon struck in game number 1, taking the 1-1 draw then in this match.
Honestly, that was kind of both games were very similar to each other, in my opinion. Both games were just kind of stompy for one team, right? I think last game, the one issue I had was, again, the Lifestealer. This game, the one issue I had was the Earth Spirit particularly. Yeah, Timber 5 didn't do too well, but even if Timber 5... Like, Timber 5 just kind of goes with the team. Your only job is to secure the lane and do okay. And Spectre was pretty far with Irvin, right? So it wasn't like he didn't do his job as a support and securing your farm for the Spectre. She wasn't cancelled early. But unfortunately, this Earth Spirit pick... Maybe it was Yopaj trying to playing a bit too aggressively. Maybe it was the pick itself, but it didn't have that peak that you usually see with Earthspirit Yopaj when he pops off, as you mentioned, at level 7 or level 10. And because of that, Motivate could just run them down. It honestly looked to me like half the time Motivate seemed to have a faster lineup, even though for a fact I knew it wasn't the case. So this shows how well they played this game.
I agree. I think, honestly, both games, like you said, just kind of come down to the mid-lane matchup. Last game, the mid, maybe we were both a bit surprised, but Yopaj was coming out way too strong, I think, safe to say, out of that mid-lane matchup. Whereas this game, the matchup is just much more Storm-favored naturally. Yopaj isn't able to really go for his power spike that he normally is able to do on the mid-lane Earth Spirit because he's up against a better matchup and an even mini spike in the lane, which completely nullifies, I think, in my opinion, the Earth Spirit mid this game. But a good game, nonetheless, as Motivate.Trust will even up the series at 1 apiece. Best of 2s here in the Monster Energy Dota Summit 13 online group stage for the SCA division. So that's going to be all these teams have for today. We're going to be moving on to our final Best of 2 series for the day, which will be 496 Gaming versus Army Geniuses. SeekNStrike and Avo Plus here on the call for you guys. Do stick around. We'll be back with our draft for game number 1 in just a bit. We'll see you then.